It's the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion. This is for Thursday, the 25th of July. I'm Michael Groff. Active weather across the area last night. Showers, thunderstorms, strong winds, and we had plenty of blowing dust, lots of lightning. One thing that was kind of lacking, unfortunately, was the thing that we all want to see, and that's rain. Yes, some of you did see some rain, but most of us saw very little, if anything at all. Now, we do have another chance of showers and storms across the area today. Kind of unusual to have good chances of storms 2 days in a row. There are factors working for and against that. We'll talk about that. And then the weather for the weekend, which looks to maybe dry out. And we'll get into the details of all of that and everything else too as we dive on in. First, the almanac from yesterday. 114 degrees, the afternoon high. 93 was the low. That occurred actually during the evening hours with those storms. There you see it, just a trace of rain officially at Sky Harbor. And that wasn't just a Sky Harbor thing. There was quite a few spots around the valley, unfortunately, that either saw no rain or just a trace. Out here by Studio B, just a few hundredths of an inch in Avondale. Average temperatures, 106 and 85. Looking outside now, just after 11 o'clock, scattered clouds, already 106 degrees at Sky Harbor. It's kind of muggy, dew point at 61, humidity 23%, calm wind barometer falling, upper level weather pattern across the nation beginning to slowly change. We've got troughing coming into the Pacific Northwest, and that's going to become a feature that will influence our weather rather notably here over the next few days, as it's going to take the ridge of high pressure that's been anchored to the north and west of us for the last few days, and it's going to start to push it further to the south. The flow aloft will switch more out of the northwest and eventually the west. That's going to usher in some drier air. Right now, the watch warning map, look at all the heat out here in the west. From the Las Vegas Valley up through the Pacific Northwest and the northern Rockies and out into the western high plains. Got heat advisories, excessive heat warnings yesterday. Glasgow, Montana hit 108. It was about that hot in Williston, North Dakota as well. They're expecting temperatures over 100 degrees across much of central and western North Dakota, South Dakota, parts of Montana. In fact, we could see a few spots flirting with 110 degrees in parts of Montana. Oof, how about that? Convective outlook for today. There is a risk of severe storms north of the state. With that trough pushing in, I don't know what that was, with that trough pushing in to the north and west of us, we will see a cold front beginning to move into the northern Rockies, and that will set the stage for showers, storms. A few severe storms are possible up there. Here in the southwest in Arizona, we've got that marginal risk of severe storms for the southeastern third of the state. And that includes the Phoenix area once again in this marginal risk, that level 1 out of 5. Now, the primary threat from any storms would be strong, damaging straight line winds. And obviously that would lead to some blowing dust potentially. And of course, you guys want to know, we don't want to see wind. We don't want to see dust. We don't really care about the lightning. We want to see some rain. Are we going to get some rain or not? Well, the precipitation outlook from the WPC, this is valid through Thursday morning of next week, says probably not much. Rain amounts here generally under 1/10 of an inch. But whenever I show you this graphic, what do I always tell you? Your amount will vary. A few storms yesterday produced 1 inch or 2 inches of rain in less than a half hour in some spots. We can see that during the monsoon season. It's just this graphic is a representation of the average of what you'll see across the region. All right, technology notwithstanding, let's get into the details of this forecast right now. To do so, we'll explore the models, see what the future may hold. Here we go. This is the GFS, the 12Z run valid at 5 o'clock this afternoon. Troughing coming into the Pacific Northwest. We've got our ridge that's slowly sagging to the south, but it is still in a configuration that will provide a northeasterly flow aloft around here for one more day. So what it means down at the surface for the rest of the afternoon hours today, scattered showers and thunderstorms over the higher terrain. They'll be pushed toward the lower deserts. And yeah, I mean, look, it's still going to be hot. Highs 109 to 113. A few spots may even be just a bit hotter than that. Now, there are factors that are going to work for and against us getting showers and storms in here today. Obviously, with the storms yesterday and some cloud cover this morning, that may act as some inhibition, and our atmosphere may need to recover a bit before we can get storms in here today. But with favorable northeasterly steering flow and showers and storms already firing up from Flagstaff down to just north of Payson, We do expect a pretty active afternoon up along the rim, and so that should be sufficient to bring at least some storms into the lower deserts. Will they be as widespread as yesterday? Will they be as strong as yesterday? Probably not, but hey, look, we'll take what we can get. Hopefully these can be more rain producers. Let's take a look at the high-resolution models, okay? This is the HRRR at 5 o'clock this afternoon. And about that time, it's got some outflow pushing into the lower deserts. It's got showers and storms lined up just about to enter the valley at that time. Now, these models, these high-resolution models, during these summertime patterns, they have mixed performances. Some days they're great, some days they're not. Yesterday, these things worked out pretty well. I do believe that we'll see this again today. There's certainly a lot of convincing evidence that showers and storms will try to get in here. Will they hold it together? Well, to answer that, let's take a look at a forecast sounding again off the HRRR. This is at 7 o'clock tonight here in Phoenix. And again, some good things, some not so good things if you're looking for storms. A good thing, we do have plenty of CAPE, anywhere from 1,000 to 1,500 joules per kilogram. There's some of our soundings that show over 2,000 joules worth of CAPE. So the ability for air parcels to freely rise, okay, that's there. We've got that. Mixing ratios are good. Precipitable water is pretty high, especially for mid to late July. Anytime you see values, the average for this time of year, average precipitable water about 1.4 inches. That represents the amount of moisture through the atmospheric column. That's above that, so that's good. We do have some convective inhibition, as expected. There's a little bit of a cap in the atmosphere today. But if we can overcome that, if we can get these outflow boundaries to come in, that should help to break up that contamination. That should help to really blow that cap off, and maybe we can get some storms going in here for this afternoon. The core Phoebe downshear values aren't really that great. Even though DCAPE values are high, the storm momentum may not be that great. The one thing that we're going to be lacking is forward momentum on thunderstorms will be not so great today. But we're still going to watch that. There wasn't really that great yesterday. It started out looking like not such a great afternoon. Storms were pretty far away, and then those outflow boundaries really got things popping yesterday afternoon. So maybe that's how it works out today. Otherwise, for the rest of tonight, partly cloudy. Overnight lows, low 80s to low 90s. Tomorrow, we've got ridging, but it's being pushed further to the south thanks to this trough coming into the Pacific Northwest. And what that's going to do is turn the flow aloft more out of the northwest. Showers and storms are probably going to stay away from us tomorrow. Now, there could be an isolated storm or two that still makes it in here. Storms that develop to the north and west of us across Yavapai and Mojave County and the mountains of La Paz County. They may get in here, but I would say the chance of storms tomorrow is probably only about 10%. High temperatures tomorrow are still going to be above 110 degrees, but as we go into the weekend, that trough continues to the north and west of us. It pushes the ridge further south. The flow aloft is westerly. Drier air is coming in, but the heights are coming down. Much talk about heights. People asking about what the heights mean. Heights, well, when just very, very simply, the higher the heights, the stronger the ridging. Lower heights are involved with lower pressure. The heights represent the difference in pressure through the atmosphere. So what we're looking at here is with the heights coming down, that means temperatures are going to come down. Now, they're not going to come down drastically, but high temperatures for both Saturday and Sunday should generally be in about the 105 to 109 range here in Phoenix. Monday, there's a sign that a few more storms may start to form across eastern Arizona. And forecast uncertainty grows as we go into next week. I'll just be quite candid with you about this. This is a very challenging forecast and kind of a head-scratching forecast too, because let's get into this a little bit. We will at some point see that trough lift out, and the ridge, it sure looks like model agreement is that at some point the ridge is going to start to build back to the north and east toward the Four Corners region. That's good, typically, because that turns the flow aloft more out of the east and southeast. And the GFS, many of the deterministic models, in fact, even the European has been bringing in an inverted trough or some type of low pressure area around that ridge into the southwest by about Tuesday of next week, maybe Wednesday. Should that happen, showers and storms would increase. But what's really curious is despite that synoptic pattern, Boy, the GFS shows not much precipitation in here Tuesday or Wednesday. Yeah, some widely scattered storms over the eastern mountains. But oddly enough, it really doesn't bring in a robust amount of precipitation. Still, we're going to lean the forecast toward an increase in precipitation chances by the middle part of next week, as at least the synoptic pattern should favor that. Now, obviously, the devil's in the details, and in the monsoon season, the synoptic pattern, sure, that's great, but it's those mesoscale features that you have to concern yourself with, and there is just no way. There's nobody on this planet, I don't care how accomplished, how scientific they are, how smart they are, there is nobody that can forecast the monsoon with any sort of accuracy out here at 7 days out. It's just not possible. The science just isn't there. We can give you a general idea for sure, but that's about it. Specifics as to where and when these showers and storms will happen, or how these features, these discrete features like these upper lows, these PV anomalies, these inverted troughs, how they're going to play out. There's no way we can tell you that 7 days out. Now, sometimes it just happens that it works out that these models do happen to come up with that solution. But, it's when you're out here at 7 days and beyond, especially here in the summertime, you're just throwing darts. Speaking of, this is a week from today, and people say, well, then why show these graphics? Because, again, we're not really concerned with specifics. We like to talk about trends, overall weather patterns, how things are trending, how it's looking in a broad sense. You're generally not going to hear me say, all right, so next, like, for example, this is next Thursday. I'm not going to tell you, okay, 7 p.m. next Thursday, storms will roll into the valley. That's not how it goes. I know there's those weather apps out there, and there's those crazy sites, and there's those people that do their own watches and warnings, and that, all those guys that we've talked about on this channel before, they do that sort of stuff. We do not do that here. And maybe that's why I am not the most highly subscribed to channel on YouTube, because I just don't do those hypey things. I'm not going to tell you that you're all going to die next week. We don't have, the flashy graphics and all that, but, we just try to do model discussion and keep it to that, generally speaking. Every once in a while, I will say something outrageous because that's just me. But anyway, this is next Thursday, the 1st of August. And again, interestingly enough, that's a pretty favorable pattern for bringing moisture in here. Now, obviously, that's a 597 ridge, a very strong ridge, lots of warm air aloft. Okay, again, talking about heights, when you see that, that's how the pressure lowers as you go up through the atmospheric column. And unfortunately, when the pressure does not lower very rapidly, temperatures aren't lowering very rapidly. And so you need higher lapse rates. You need temperatures to cool faster to form more clouds and precipitation. So when you see that kind of ridge, now it's a little bit of a distance from us, but yeah, that might be somewhat of an inhibitor for storms to develop, but I still expect at least a low-grade monsoon forecast in that setup. That's not a bad pattern to have. So we will have temperatures above average, but rain chances will at least be around. At least widely scattered afternoon and evening storms would continue if that's right. Going out 10 days, Saturday the 3rd of August. And again, a pretty favorable pattern. High pressure sits to the north of the state. It's a little bit weaker, not much. Again, an east, maybe northeasterly flow aloft, and that should bring us a chance of afternoon and evening showers and storms if this verifies. And again, the GFS does seem to indicate that ridging will eventually win out and build back across much of the west, mostly north of Arizona. So that should be at least a decent setup for more monsoon activity around here. Boy, I hope so. Now, of course, it's not going to cool us off, not dramatically. In fact, we'll show you it's just going to stay hot, above average heat. Rainfall for Phoenix off of the GFS ensemble out through the 8th of August. Ensemble mean about an inch. Control member way over an inch, up there around 1.5 inches. European ensemble, completely different. The ensemble means 1/10 of an inch. So once again, you have two very, very conflicting models and their respective ensembles. Just night and day. And it's just been that. I'm just fascinated by it. I know I talk about it every day, but it is fascinating, the difference there. All right, temperatures off of the national blend of models, and what can you say? We'll stay above average, generally speaking, all the way out through the next 10 days. This is just going to go down as another very hot summer. Right now, we're still tracking toward the hottest summer on record. This has been, right now, we're still squarely at the second hottest July on record. We had the hottest June on record, and with these kinds of temperatures, we don't see any sign that things are changing moving into August. So 3 of the last 5 summers have all exceeded the hottest on record, it looks like. 2020 was the hottest, then 2023 surpassed that, and this year may surpass those. For those of you wondering, I do have a graphic, but it's not the nicest graphic. I did prepare this, but I won't even show it right now. But I will just tell you, in terms of number of days so far with heat, we've had 66 days with high temperatures over 100 degrees so far this summer. 34 days with highs above 100 at or above 110. And keeping in mind, prior to 2020, the record in that category was 33 days. So, now in 2020 and in 2023, we blew that record out, and we've already we're in third place for the most 110 degree days. We've had 8 days with a high of 115 plus, lows of 80 plus. We've had 40 of those, and lows of 90 plus. We've had 24 of those so far this year. And I think after today, we'll tack on another one to that category. Oh boy, the heat continues. And that's going to do it for the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for today. My next video is due back here tomorrow morning. Should you happen to enjoy these videos, then be sure to subscribe, like, share, click that notification bell. Leave those comments, questions, and suggestions. If my computer can handle it, I did roll some pretty good footage of the light show that we had yesterday from the view from over here near Studio B. So maybe I'll get that up for you tomorrow. As part of Photo Friday. We'll see. Speaking of, hey, groffshow@gmail.com is the email address if you want to send in your photos or videos for Photo Friday, groffshow@gmail.com for that. That's also the PayPal address if you want to make a donation for us. Yeah, why not get that in there? You can click that thanks icon below the video, or you can donate directly to me via PayPal if you want to support this channel monetarily. groffshow@gmail.com for PayPal. All right, like, subscribe, share, click that notification bell, leave those comments, questions, and suggestions. Otherwise, the executive producer of the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion, yeah, it's my one and only, the sweetest of all time, the Asian sensation and proprietor of SweetChildAZ.com.org and the Facebook page of the same name, Sweet Child Arizona, talking about my Michelle. Check her out. Check out her blogs. Check out everything Michelle related. It's all linked up down in the description. Do it. Do it. Do it. All right. Also, our streaming station available 24/7, 365. It's called KMGX. We play a ton of music. We have a lot of fun with that. So give that a listen also. And again, it, like everything else, linked in the description. Okay. Deep breath. All right, that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. All of your continued support. It is so greatly appreciated. Please be safe. Stay cool, stay hydrated out there, and you guys have yourselves a beautiful rest of your Thursday.